r/AskReddit. Serious, late night hikers, what is the creepiest thing you have seen while hiking? While it did not happen during the hike, rather the camping, it was still the creepiest thing I've experienced out there. Was working at a summer camp for kids and we went on an overnight outing. Had a cougar circle our camp from around 11 PM to roughly 5 AM. It was crying out, hoping one of us would separate from the group. I stayed up all night with bear spray and a hatchet, keeping an eye on it with the other staff. It wasn't what I saw. I saw nothing out of the ordinary. However, my dog got very agitated around a certain part of a trail and alternated between barking and snarling and hiding behind my legs. It creeped me out enough that we hurried out of there fast. This wasn't on a hike, and this is pretty tame compared to some of these stories, but it's a bit similar. Back in our old place, one night my girlfriend and I were walking our dogs around the neighborhood. She's a lot smaller, so I was walking two of the dogs and she was walking one, who was a former service dog. He was a real gentle dog, albeit a bit older. Other than snatching the ball away from the others during fetch, he'd never shown a bit of aggression. I walk a bit ahead of my girlfriend because of the two dogs pulling pretty hard on me, but not too far. Maybe 10 or 15 feet ahead, but around a corner. As I found out later, she'd slowed down in part because she noticed someone nearby acting strangely, scoping out a house I think. When he spotted her, he said hi and she responded in kind. Asked how he was. Before he could answer, the dog she was walking started to growl and she apologized, commenting that he was a guard dog. The guy looked at her and said, "Well, he's doing a good job tonight." She was pretty spooked and hurried to catch up to me. We were more careful on nighttime walks from then on. I drove to a park to go hiking at night in the mountains, so safe I know, and I hadn't even turned off my car and I already feel like I'm being watched. There weren't any cars around, so I thought maybe it was just me being paranoid for some reason. But for some reason I look to my right and I see this weird looking humanoid shape on top of the little bump hill about 50 feet away. At first I thought it was a weirdly shaped tree until I saw the arms move. No wind at all. So now I know there's a person staring at my car trying not to move. For what I assume is for me to get out of my car and leave to a more secluded area as we were next to the road. Of course I left. I don't go hiking at night in that particular park anymore. Edit. Oh wow, I've never received so many upvotes before. I'm very grateful for all the upvotes. Edit. Oh my god, it broke 2k upvotes. I can't express how happy I am and how grateful I am to everyone who upvoted my comment. This is actually the most upvoted liked comment and or post I've ever received in any of my social media. I do not know how to express my gratitude. Thank you all so much. I walk at night in my rural area regularly. I've encountered black bears, coyotes, bobcats, angry deer, and everything on down, with no real concern. But the creepiest encounter was a little black pickup truck with rainbow and unicorn stickers, bubblegum pop music blaring, and it smelled like cotton candy when it passed me. First time it passed me it swerved to hit me. I jumped out of the way easily. I thought nothing of it really. Just figured they were startled by seeing me at night with my reflective gear. The truck circled back and comes at me again. I saw it coming this time and grabbed my dog up just in time to jump into a ditch. I heard little girl laughter, high-pitched and maniacal. The tiny truck circled back for a third go at me, but by then I was hiding in my neighbor's shrubbery. I watched it slowly drive down the road, hearing giggling as it passed me. Fortunately it kept on going and I made it home just fine. I used to run at night. One night I ran under a tree and went through a spider web face first. I freaked out and flung my head towards my hands to wipe the web away. When I did that I felt something big and heavy plop onto the top of my head. Like a squirrel. I grabbed it and screamed. Turns out it was just my ponytail flopping forward, but man, it was a terrifying 10 seconds. Lots of flailing. The amount of people who go hiking alone at night, some of y'all even without a flashlight, is surprising. I was in Syria on a visit from Australia back in the late 90s. I saw two dogs in the distance. about 30 meters away, lit up by a bright moon. They had faces that looked human. I seriously froze. They walked up to about 10 meters away and looked totally flipping human. One of them growled, so I fired off a round and they ran away. I immediately headed back home looking over my shoulder the whole way. I told my aunt what I saw and the house erupted in laughter. It was some local ghost story. Everyone had an encounter with them at one stage or something. Fuck those dogs. A bear. It wasn't late night but the sun was setting. A bunch of friends went up to a cliff diving spot that we knew. After a day of swimming and activities, a park ranger saw us and told us to follow a certain trail back to the parking lot because it's faster. This was a trail we haven't seen and we didn't take it up. We said fuck it and decided it was okay. After about 1.5 hours of hiking and being lost on the trail, we come to a clearing in the forest with no more trail. Just what was left and a shit ton of vegetation. No problem. Turn around right. Now that was the first time I ever saw a bear full on in person. The first thing I thought about was how fucked it would be if we had to run and even worse, someone getting caught. We just saw it, backed up, and decided fuck it. Better walk down the mountain than try to go around it. This isn't creepy but it definitely spooked me. Acting like a cat around me and ending her sentences with meow. To this day I still don't know why she did this around me. Edit. I just asked her. A couple coyotes eating dead snakes in the middle of the trail. Being subtle. I didn't know that my GF liked me till she straight up said it. Most of us are clueless and expect girls to not be interested. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes guys. End of course the gold. I go hiking in the woods that permeate my town. Sometimes so late that I get to see the sunrise out there. The strangest thing I ever saw was what I could only describe as a shanty town was built up seemingly overnight deep into the woods. Simple little hovels made of scrap metal and bedsheets and a small fire pit that someone had made out of an old tire, with the fire still burning. But that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was that this was well past midnight when I found this place and it was quiet as a grave. There was no one there. Someone made the trouble of getting a fire going and then left it. From the look of it this place could hold about a dozen or so people and yet there was nothing there but the fire they abandoned and whatever possessions they had left in the shanties. Sticking their tongue out in every single photo they take. Not a guy. But I hate when girls try to act all tough like they can kick anyone's ass. I have met girls who are strong and I know could knock some people's ass out. But I know a lot of girls who are tough and try to make everything into a fight or problem. But I also grew up in a trashy area. Duckface. I thought the fad would have died out by now. But you would be surprised how many 30-35-year-old women I see do it on social media. Cries and single. Too much perfume, scented lotions, body spray, etc. Fake tans. Seen plenty of girls with the skin tone of an Oompa Loompa walking around like they are hot shit. Being rude or mean. It isn't cute. Doesn't make me think you're tough. Or whatever it is you are going for. If you are mean to someone that you think is in a lesser position, fuck outta here. It doesn't make you look better than them. It makes you seem like a royal bitch. Kayla. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. Sorry to all Kaylas out there who aren't this way. If you become the millennial Karen, well, oops. Wearing makeup is fine. But at least make sure the shit is actually a color that matches your skin tone and not something that makes you look like an orange. Hints. It's like navigating through a maze. An honest, upfront girl is so attractive. Edit. Thank you for the gold and silver. I am so sick of those goddamn Instagram filters with the dog nose and ears. They in no way portray you realistically, and if you have it in all your pics, why bother? It was in the summer around dusk and I was camping at a remote campground with my dad. There was a lake right next to the grounds and my dad and I would trailblaze through the forest right next to the lake because if you went far enough there was a really pretty waterfall. A few strange things happened on this hike. We found a slash pile that had a little kid's shoe on top. When we came to a small clearing, my dad had to take a leak to he faced one side of the clearing and I faced the other and we both clearly heard a child say, "I'm over here." My dad thought it was me. And when he realized it wasn't, we spent half an hour looking for someone. But we found nobody. After that, we gave up on going to the waterfall and started to make our way back to camp. But there were clear sounds of something following us, twigs snapping, bushes shaking. We haven't been camping there since. Posting way too many pictures of themselves on social media. You may be attractive, but having an addiction to social media attention and validation is a huge turn off. Speaking in high pitch like a little girl. Not into lollis PLZ. Snapchat filters. Trying too hard and failing to be unique or quirky. Faking like you're one of the guys. For example, I don't know how these dating profile sayings became so ubiquitous among women. Feed me tacos and tell me I'm pretty fluent in sarcasm can probably drink more than you swiped right for your dog looking for someone to go on adventures with sapiosexual. Fuck anyone for saying this one. If my dog doesn't like you, I won't like you. That's fair. But I think we can all agree that you love your dog more than a stranger, so why include this? Wanderlust. Look, I get it. Guys probably have something that we do on the same apps. You want to stand out and say these things to seem like a down-to-earth girl. Just say something honest about yourself. That's what we want to hear. Don't sprinkle these phrases all over your profiles. 90% of women choose one or more of the things I said above, at least in my city. They are the farthest thing from original. We think it's really dumb lol. Shaving your eyebrows. It looks super weird with very thin or drawn on eyebrows. Also, long nails. Gross. So, as a gay guy I'm super not the right audience to be answering, but using so much makeup that you remove all personal character. Turning yourself into generic women 5. Lip injections, or injections in general. But implants. People be crazy. Baby talk kid voice. Edit, words. Long nails that look like claws. Get the hell out of here with those. My hatred of long nails has brought me good fortune. My first silver. Those big stupid eyebrows that look like a mini bike skidded across their foreheads. I was in the woods with 3 friends at night. A friend's house was nearby and I was getting hungry, so I went inside to find some food. Another friend came inside with me. 2 friends were still outside. Later on, one of the 2 who were outside comes in and sees the indoor friend on the couch next to me. They panic and immediately run back outside. I poke my head out the door asking what's going on, only to hear them yell as loudly as they can, "That's not Kevin." Everyone comes inside and calms down a bit. And the story comes out. They thought the friend who was indoors with me, Kevin, had been outside with them this entire time. Why? Because in the darkness of the woods they saw a silhouette about the same height walking alongside them silently. Then at some point it ran away and they were chasing it thinking Kevin was running off for some reason. The reason my friend yelled "That's not Kevin" was to stop the last outdoor friend from chasing whoever was out there deeper into the woods. We still have no idea who that was or why they didn't ever speak. Leaving signs and hints instead of being straightforward. Edit. Yo. This is my first time getting gold. Thank you so much. I'm giddy as hell right now. Playing dumb. Yeah. No, fuck off. I once shined my headlamp on a man masturbating next to a juniper tree when I was going out for a pooper by the juniper tree. Usually, it's what I hear. Large, fallen branches snapping just out of sight of my headlamp. Or waking up an hour later and hearing steps and leaves rustling. But too exhausted and fearful to inspect or want to know. Probably nothing important anyway. One time I returned to my car after a late night hike with friends and my SUV was covered in foot and paw prints. They were just so large and even dragged a little in the dust. It was on near a large military base in the mountains. I think some local enlisted may have made them to scare us. But it was just so well done. Pretty scary for all of us because it's what you'd imagine the Blair Witch would do. No animal did it. 2 cubs and no mother. In other words, I had probably come between them. It was around midnight in a clearing for picnics in a large park that lots of people hike through. Pitch black. No one around. I was with my boyfriend at the time. We got pretty frisky at one of the picnic tables. And I'm facing a river which is sort of illuminated from the moonlight. He's facing the solid black tree line. We're trying to have a good time and he becomes completely still and in a low voice says there's a man coming towards us. I turn my head. See only a white t-shirt approaching us at a brisk walking pace from the trees. And that's all I needed to see. I ran, knowing my BF would catch up. He did. I was never down for midnight forest stuff again. Haha. Edit. The man in the white shirt probably got within 25 feet of us by the time I had my shit together enough to bolt. Still freaks me out. He said nothing, just walked very fast towards us. Neither of us looked back. I think I can sum up most of these replies. Reddit. What's the story of the guy being chased by the dancing man? Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that star button for more high quality content.